Hi, everyone. I am Amy Zelmer, editor-in-chief of Minnesota Yoga and Life magazine and the Brain Health magazine. And I wanted to make a short seated chair yoga practice for you that you can use anytime you need just a little bit of energy in your day. This is appropriate that you could probably do this at work if you need a little break from your desk and your computer, your shoulders and neck are feeling a little stiff and sore. So all you need for today's practice is a chair, and I also recommend having a block. If you don't have a yoga block, you could use a roll of paper towels, works really well, or just a box that's roughly the size of a yoga block. So we're going to begin by sitting in our chair. And for chair yoga, I always recommend that you have a chair that does not have arms or wheels. And the wheels are actually a little more important than the arms because we don't want it rolling out from under you or swiveling or any of those things. All right, so we're going to start. You're going to sit on the front third of your chair. We don't want you sitting back, leaning back in your chair. You want to be sitting nice and upright on your chair with your sit bones connecting to the chair. You're sitting up nice and tall through your spine, imagining that string coming up through the crown of your head, lifting your head. Shoulders are back and down, and our feet are firmly planted on the floor. Now, as in any great yoga practice, you want to have a strong mountain pose. And even though we're seated in a chair, we still want a strong mountain pose. We want to be really grounded to the earth. So I want you to take a moment to look down at your feet. Your feet should be approximately 2 fist widths apart. And I want you to take a moment, making sure that they're aligned. So one isn't out further than the other, getting them aligned. And then looking down at your toes. And I want you to think of your feet as the foundation of your building. The stronger the foundation, the stronger and sturdier the building is. So if we have a strong base, our balance is going to be better. Our gait is going to be better. Just it supports so many things, have a strong base. And many of us don't have a strong base, but the good news is it's something you can work on and improve. So one of the best ways to start working on that is to look down at your toes. And if these were your feet, many of us stand with our toes together, tightly together. We want to start spreading our toes. And for some of you, this is going to be really hard. You might have really tight toes and tight feet. But again, it's something you can work on. You can give yourself a foot massage by bringing your foot up and putting your fingers between your toes and giving them a nice little massage. Again, that could be really challenging for some of you, but it's something that you can work on. So let's start by looking down at our toes, lifting the toes up off the floor, spreading them out as far as you can, and then dropping them down one at a time, pinky to big toe. And then really pushing your feet into the earth, like you're pushing the floor away from you. And that should be engaging your quads and your glutes a little bit when we do this. Now, do you feel the difference just in the way you're sitting and connecting? Just by doing that simple little exercise with our feet. So now we are in a seated mountain pose. Again, keeping those shoulder blades back and down. Hands can just rest on your lap wherever it feels comfortable. And just take some breaths here. Just starting to settle into your practice. Connecting with your breath. Breath is an important part of yoga. The breath is more important than the pose even. So connecting with your breath. If you like, you can bring a hand to your chest and a hand to your belly and feeling your chest rise on the inhale and fall on the exhale. And your belly should expand on the inhale, getting soft. And on the exhale, your belly button draws in towards your spine. just ever so slightly contracting your belly. Our breath helps keep our spine safe in yoga and in everyday functions. And when you begin to learn how your breath can connect with your body, it's a powerful thing. Just a few more breaths here. We've often been taught by society to suck in our belly, to keep it in, tuck it in. And the reverse is actually true. And so this can be a habit that you have to unlearn in your yoga and pranayama practice. So allowing that belly to expand and soften on your inhale and slightly contract on the exhale. Go ahead and release your hands. And we're going to take a few big breaths here. And if you're able, I want you to use your arms. And I'll show you a modification if you have any shoulder or neck injuries or problems or restrictions, or if you've had a recent injury. So as we inhale, we bring our palms up and overhead. Nice, long, slow, controlled breath. And on the exhale, palms down and our arms float down. And again, if you have any shoulder or neck issues, what you can do instead is on the inhale, pull your arms back into cactus. And on the exhale, bring them to heart center. So one more breath, whichever way is comfortable for you. Inhale and exhale. Bring your hands to your lap. Again, keeping those feet and your legs engaged. We're gonna do some big shoulder rolls. So really pull those shoulders up to your ears, back, down, and around. We really want to work on waking up the scapula and the clavicles. Breathe, remembering to breathe. And then the opposite direction. So up, forward, back, and around. And then coming back to center, keeping those shoulder blades back and down. Let's do neck tilt to the left, just as far as it feels comfortable for you. If you'd like to deepen the stretch, you can bring the back of your right hand to the small of your back, keeping that shoulder blade back and down. And if you want to go even a little further, you can gently roll your chin towards your chest. You're not bringing it to your chest. You're just rolling it down towards your chest. Remember to breathe. And then gently release the hand and bring the head slowly back up to center. Now I'll tilt to the other side. Again, you can bring the back of your left hand to the small of your back. And you can let your chin roll to your chest, keeping those shoulder blades back and down. And gently releasing the arm and allowing the head to come back up. Now let's just bring our left arm across our body, holding it with the right hand, stretching out that shoulder. And release. And then bringing the right arm across, holding it with the left. And release. Now let's do some little wrist rolls. Really getting that range of motion in your wrist. And go the opposite direction. And then bringing up your left hand, we're going to take our right hand to the fingers and we're going to pull our wrist back. And it's not about just pulling the fingers back. We're literally pulling the wrist back. You should feel that stretch down through your forearm, through your wrist. And this might be intense for some of you. You might not stretch your wrist often. And this is a really great stretch. You know, during the work day, doing this a few times a day to really help loosen up that wrist. And then release. And now we're going to take the big thumb and we're going to pull it back with our wrist as well. Our thumbs definitely don't get enough attention, especially now with our cell phones. We're using our thumbs a lot to text and to scroll through the screens. And release. And then we'll do that with the right hand again, using the left hand to pull back the fingers, but the whole wrist, feeling that stretch down through the front of your forearm here. Giving our wrists some love. A large percentage of supposed carpal tunnel is often just really tight muscles, and stretching and massaging those areas can help relieve a lot of that tension. A lot of carpal tunnel, you know, diagnosed carpal tunnel often doesn't require surgery. It requires massage and stretching. And again, now let's do the big thumb, pulling the thumb and the whole wrist back. And just observe if one side is tighter than the other. It's often the case. Usually your dominant hand is a little bit more tight. And gently releasing. And then now just shaking out the wrists and the hands. All right. Bring your hands to your lap. Again, keeping those legs and feet engaged. Just bringing your awareness back to your feet, pushing into the ground. Now bring your left hand to your right knee. Inhale as you sit up nice and tall through that spine. And as you exhale, we're going to twist to the right. Bringing that right hand behind you or even holding on to the back of the chair to help you get a bigger stretch. But staying nice and tall, upright. We're not leaning back towards the chair at all. And breathe here. On your next exhale, come back to center. Bring your right hand to your left knee as you inhale tall through the spine. Exhale as you twist to the left. Breathe here. And your next exhale, come back to center. And bring both hands to both knees. And we're going to do some seated cat-cows. So we're going to inhale as we pull those shoulder blades down, get broad through our chest, and inhale into cow. And as we exhale, we're going to round the back, push back into cat. Feeling that nice stretch through the back and the shoulders. Again, inhale into cow. Exhale into cat. Inhale. And exhale. One more time, inhale. And exhale. And coming back up to center. We'll get some lateral bends. So bring up your right hand like you're saying hi. And as you inhale, you're going to push that arm up and over as we bend to the left, filling up the right side of your rib cage with your breath. And as you exhale, coming back to center. And then we'll switch hands, left hand up. Inhale as we bend to the right. filling up our left rib cage. Exhale back to center. And again, right hand, inhale to the left. Exhale, center. Left hand, inhale to the right. Exhale, center. Inhale, right hand, bend to the left. Exhale, center, keeping those feet firm on the floor. Inhale, left hand bending to the right. Exhale, center, and then come back to your center. And just sit here for a moment and observe how your body feels just from doing those few simple movements that we've just done. The pause is more important than the pose. Pausing to check in with your body. Your body tells you everything you need to know if you just listen. Okay, now I'm gonna have you pick up that block and holding it the tall way, we're gonna bring our hands to the block with our arms nice and firm against it, our elbows together. And we're gonna lift this block up and overhead. Shoulder blades are back and down, and we might have to readjust for your hands. Sit on the block and pulling the shoulders in, shoulders back and down, the elbows are pulling in, keeping your head neutral. You should feel a nice stretch through your shoulders, your neck, your traps. If this is too intense for you, go ahead and come out of the pose. But this is a great stretch for our back and shoulders. We often get very, very tight in between our shoulder blades, our upper back, and in through our neck from sitting at our desks all day. And this is a really great stretch to relieve some of that strain. Remembering to breathe. And as you exhale, go ahead and bring that block back up and forward. Now go ahead and bring the block in front of you, sort of in front between your feet. We're going to bring our feet wider now. We're going to do a couple forward folds. And so we want our feet just a little wider so we have some room for our body. Again, connecting those feet to the earth, engaging the legs. We don't want our knees to fall in. We want to engage those hip abductors on the outside of our legs to keep our legs out, not falling in. And shoulder blades are back and down. We're going to take a big inhale with our arms, again, either overhead or cactus arms. Inhale. And as you exhale, slowly begin to bring your arms down, leading with your chest, hinging at your hip, coming into a forward fold, coming to your block. And take a few breaths here, keeping your back nice and straight, shoulder blades back and down. And on our next inhale, slowly bring your arms out, leading with the chest, coming up. Arms come up all the way overhead. Exhale, release the arms back down. Let's do that one more time. Inhale, arms come overhead or to cactus. Exhale as our arms begin to come down and forward, leading with our chest. Hands coming to the block, keeping our back straight and long. Breathing here. And as we inhale, those arms come up, leading with our chest. Exhale, release your arms to the side. And now we'll come into a child's pose, seated child's pose. And this is just a nice, relaxing pose. We're calming the central nervous system down. Again, keeping our legs wide. There's several ways you can come into this pose. You can simply bring your forearms to your thighs and just allow your body to kind of lean forward and dangle. Or you can bring your hands to the block and kind of sit in that forward fold position, whichever is most comfortable for you. And just take a few breaths here. Gently come back up to seated. And we'll do one last pose. We're going to do a hip opener. We're going to bring that block in just a little bit closer. We're going to do butterfly pose. So you're going to bring the soles of your feet together on top of the block. A little bit of a balancing act. If this is a little uncomfortable, you could flip over a small garbage can or another, like a small step stool. And allow your legs to come out. Again, sitting up tall, shoulder blades back and down. Now we're going to very slowly begin to forward fold. And you can bring your arms, the forearms to your knees, and just gently give them a little push down, not a big push, just a gentle push to open out your hips. And we're not forward folding very far. We're just coming forward just a little bit, keeping that back straight. Just giving a little pressure on our hips. Our hips get very tight when we sit at a desk all day. And butterfly pose is a really great one to help just open up those hips a little. Give them a nice gentle stretch. And inhale as you come all the way back up. And you can release your feet back to the floor. Let's move the block back to the side. Bringing our feet back about 2 fist widths apart. And again, just looking down at your toes, lifting them up, spreading them out, dropping them down one at a time, pinky to big toe. Feel the earth pushing away under your feet, engaging those quads and your glutes. And let's take a big breath. Inhale, bring your palms together. Exhale, bring your hands down to heart center. Shoulder blades back and down. Allow your eyes to close or gently gaze in front of you. Take a few breaths here. And I want you to acknowledge yourself for being here today. And taking the time to practice. I want you to give gratitude to your body, your mind, and your soul for all that they do for you every single day. You can gently open your eyes. You can release your hands to your lap. And I thank you for being here today and doing this practice with me. I look forward to seeing you in my other yoga classes. You can find me at patreon.com/Amy Zellmer for weekly yoga classes. I also have an 8-week yoga experience coming up. For 8 weeks, we'll explore the different aspects of yoga. We'll explore the asana or the pose. We'll explore pranayama or the breath. We'll explore meditation, relaxation, yoga nidra. It'll be a great experience for anyone who is maybe not familiar with yoga and would like to learn more. Or if you're experienced with yoga, but would perhaps like to learn a slower, gentler practice, it would be a great experience for you. So thank you for being here today. And I look forward to working with you again in the future. Have a great day, everyone.